So, I mean, overall, I consider myself an African American, which means most of my family descended from Africa, are descendants from Africa. However, as far as what I'm knowledgeable of, as far as how far my roots go, as far as what I've been told, is that most of my family originates from the South, particularly Louisiana, mostly on my maternal side. But both on my maternal and my paternal side, we also have Native American roots as well too. But that's as far as like the distinct information, as like, you know, with tribe and all that information, I don't really have. But I do know, you know, my family originates from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I do believe that I'm of African descent, which I think I'm very Afrocentric. So.
Tell me a little bit more about your origins here in the Bayview.
In the Bayview, okay. So I've lived here in the Bayview my whole life, and you know, although I lived here, I attended school in Pacifica, California. But just growing up and seeing the different changes as a kid, from being a child up until now, with just the different populations of a lot of black people migrating out of the city. The redevelopment of a lot of different housing projects in which I lived in here in Bayview and District 10 in general, definitely has pushed me to be passionate about a lot of the work that I do, specifically like around gentrification, and just understanding the history of Bayview in general. You know what I mean? Like, it's traditionally a marginalized community, and especially if we want to talk about like my origins and my roots and how my family migrated here from Louisiana. That isn't something that actually is something that's very common for a lot of families here in the Bayview district. And I think the history of Bayview in general, a lot of families from down south migrated here in the early 1900s, 1940s, 1960s for work here in the Naval Shipyard. So that's why it traditionally was a highly populated area, specifically with African Americans who worked more in an industrialized field. So.
Your origins, mean with, you know, your family, like how long have they?
Oh, my family's been here. Right, I'm talking about this. Right? My family has been here since I've been born. Like, my grandmother, you know, lived on Harbor Road. My grandmother lived here on Latona. Since I can remember. That's all I know. Right now, we lived there all my life, except for when I, you know, was in high school and my grandma ended up losing her house. But other than that, you know, born and raised here. Like, Bayview is really pretty much all I know. Yeah, so.
Okay. How have your